Greetings, greetings. Send you all some warm, positive vibrations. This is Body Culinary. And this evening, I wanted to come and check in and have a talk around, if any of you folks are endeavoring on a path of radical self acceptance, issues with having fine hair. I'm somebody that has really, really fine, delicate, kinky, nappy, afro textured hair. And so fine hair behaves very differently from what I found on a lot of the tutorials. Actually, a lot of times when I've tried a lot of these styles on the tutorials, my hair never quite looks the same. Yeah, so I've had to chosen to work around that and really accept what I have and find styles that work for my hair. It's also a really carefree lifestyle. And this is coming from somebody that had scalp burns, ears singed from hot combs, and my hair pulled out, almost my brains pulled out from the scalp by two tight braids. So we're going to just chat about fine hair issues, and you can feel free to chime in. You're always welcome to chime in respectfully. I don't have the only perspective. I'm just sharing on one's personal journey of radical self-acceptance. So if you're interested in this conversation, stay tuned. What I'd also like to know in the chat, you're welcome to share, is what kind of issues have you experienced with your fine, cottony, afro-textured hair? You may just have fine hair of another texture. And has it affected how you feel about yourself? Has it affected your esteem, right? When you're a young woman, a young person, has the texture of your hair, it being very fine, the style's not coming out as full as other folks. Has that affected you? I would love to hear if you're willing to share it down in the comments. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm Body Culinary, professional chef, personal trainer, natural born woman, born with a uterus, ovaries, and a breast, which I cherish. Shout out to you, whatever your expression is. On this channel, I share some of my journey of radical self-acceptance, right? I've chosen to say, y'all can have the moving goalpost of beauty. I have decided to just settle on, it feels better to me, health and confidence over someone's made up, which changes like the weather, somebody's made up standard of beauty. That has worked for me. So I've taken that external validation off the table. On this channel, I also love to share several lifestyle practices that have been helpful to me. You may find them helpful. They are leveraged lifestyle practices that can really serve you for the long haul and perhaps give you something back for the time and investment of your focus and attention, which is a real currency, a very, very valuable, if not the most valuable currency, especially on the internet. And these lifestyle practices are three simple ones, simple yet profound. So they are peaceful consumption, food that loves you back and doesn't deposit a lot of waste on your waistline, in your liver, your colon. It's not making all this waste fight to get out of your skin. Food that loves you back, basically, and that your cells can recognize as food. Not just the recreation, I get the part in your mouth, I was a junk food junkie, but going beyond merely just eating for entertainment and self-soothing, right? Which we don't want to demonize ourselves for over here. The second lifestyle practice is garden therapy. Gives us so many benefits, so many countless benefits. Relaxation being one of them, food sovereignty, and for those people that may be endeavoring to achieve a healthy natural weight without drugs and pills and powders, people sleep on the garden. It's I would say it's like it's my secret weapon. Its secret weapon is the garden. So many benefits. And then is your personal movement practice. Some people call it exercise. I like to call it vigorous, joyous movement. I'm unapologetic about reframing my narrative. So a personal movement practice, it's an opportunity for physiological release, for getting a shot of internal self-generated feel-good drugs, dopamine, which is in contrast to the dopamine that we receive from likes on Facebook or from eating barbecue chips. I used to be an addict, or other narcotics or substances. And it's non-toxic, right? And it's something that you have access to. So if you're interested in this conversation, if you're interested in this kind of content, feel free, if you like, to avail yourself of the videos, relaxation videos, conversations around radical self-acceptance, embracing and celebrating and being creative with what you have. The puppet series that's on this channel, and feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out to me at info@body-culinary.com. Also, before we get going, make sure you have either your water in a wine glass over here. This is our wine, or this is our hydration. It's not really wine, but whatever the cleanest waters you have available. And I have some other snacks I'm going to share about on this channel. So, like, comment, subscribe, respectfully share it with a friend. I invite you to, if you'd like to create some kind of support for yourself, right? That's one of my secret weapons as well. You can really make a positive use of the internet. You can replay these videos to keep you company while you are decluttering, chopping up fresh fruits and vegetables, or while you are on your stretch mat. So you get several things done at once. So grab your water in a wine glass and let's have a chat. All right, so I got my nice water here. Hydration, especially from food, is a priority over here. Okay. Oh, before I forget, Flowah Fit coaching and community, right? Coming together around activities, activities that have something to do with fruits and vegetables, peaceful consumption, garden therapy, as well as garden therapy and your personal movement practice. There's a guide, Whole Living Foods in the Hood, with menus to fit your budget. It is definitely a mindset shift because this is not a diet, and there's a shortcut. There is a guide with all kinds of tips. Greetings, Jacqueline. With all kinds of tips and shortcuts to shorten your learning curve if you're interested in embracing whole, fresh living, unprocessed foods as a lifestyle. If you're someone who perhaps has dealt with a lot of acne and scarring as I have, Whole Living Foods is how I cleared up my skin as well as with movement. So there's natural beauty, no products. It's food that I eat. My primary product is food. I don't buy products anymore. I just don't. It's not necessary. There's one shampoo, but I got something else up my sleeve. So I prefer to use food because it's not toxic and it's sustainable. And a lot of it I'm growing in my yard. So I eat it. And I also put a lot of what I eat on my skin and my hair. So natural beauty, no products. You can see exactly how my face was looking like a bunch of pop rocks. On this channel, it's radical self-acceptance over here because natural bodies, they matter. If you have small tetas, if you are more fluffy, it's your body. And it's really good to see more people embracing and loving their body. There's a distinction between appreciating the body temple that you have and being complacent with numbers that may be in the danger zone as far as your health, your cardiovascular health, your cholesterol, your blood pressure. So there is a difference with that. However, how we feel about ourselves is usually going to contribute to us self-medicating or self-soothing with food. So taking a lot of stuff off the table. And again, this is an option. I'm not anti-makeup. I'm not the hair police or the food police. Those are options. I used to have a Jerry curl and a gold tooth. So we are all on our own. We're in our own space along our journey. So the intention of this channel is to bring us together around simple lifestyle practices, and everybody, no matter what you want to call yourself, can benefit from more whole, fresh living, unprocessed food. So it's a simple, natural lifestyle. Simple and natural. That's how we're rocking it over here. Okay, so fine hair issues, and you can chime in if you like. So my hair, as you can see, I'm not twisting it. I'm not oiling it. The only thing I'll use periodically is a very light natural shampoo. Natural shampoos cost a bit more, but they're worth it. It's not the $1.99. And back in the day, I have tried those, the ones that smell tutti frutti, VO5, and all that stuff. So the ones that you get from the health food store, there's a distinct difference, and there's a difference in the quality. So the one that I have used, I put it inside of the community section if you scroll down. So my hair is very, very fine. People say it's thick. It's like, I guess, I don't know if you want to call it illusion, but it's just a feature of my hair, right? You can call it a fine hair issue or a fine hair feature, right? It's all of my locks are actually really flat. It's now that it has a little bit of length, you can see it. And actually, it feels nice and soft. So I've let them combine several times. So today I have some decent light so you can see what it looks like. My scalp is nice and free. I don't use any oil on my scalp. I don't oil it. Not with coconut oil or olive oil, which are the only I used back in the day. And sometimes a little castor oil. But I haven't used it in a long, long time. There's not a drop of oil in my hair. So that leads to it being light and fluffy, which I think is a benefit for those with fine hair. And I've embraced the Afro. I haven't separated these in a little bit. So it's I only have about 30, 31 locks. So I'm feeling really good. I feel really relaxed. So I haven't been separating it. I just washed it maybe 1 or 2 days ago, or maybe it was yesterday. And so I just don't feel to separate it because I like to see what the hair does. Where do you say you can find the name of the shampoo? It's inside of the community section. And I reached out to that company because so many people asked me about the shampoo. I reached out to the company. So they said they were unable to ship it to where I am. I was trying to get some kind of a little something for people that subscribe to the channel. But I have something nice coming. So we shall see. We shall see. But primarily, I use a lot of the herbs and the teas inside of the yard. The nopales, the aloe, neem, mint, cucumber. Let's see what other herbs that are there. Nettles. All of those things I can find right out inside of my yard. So I'm embracing the Afro, which makes it look fuller. If I had been twisting these, and where it is now, if I twisted it, it's not really going to work. This has become something else. So there's no more twisting, and that's fine by me because I'm not lazy, but I just feel like there are other things that I'd like to do with my time. So this is totally untwisted. So the hair goes this way wide and flat as opposed to round, right? This is a lot of my hair. You can see it's still, it's very fine. So they go flat rather than round, which is fine for me. I think I've only really found one other channel. I can't think of the young lady's name that embraces on YouTube her flat lock. So that's what we're doing over here because we're into radical self-acceptance, right? So I definitely find a benefit with this is I don't get a bunch of lint. Every now and then a little something from a towel. Black towels I think are ideal. But I don't get much lint because the oil can make the hair very sticky and like a magnet for lint and dust, which although the oil feels great going on, eventually I found that my hair got very, very stiff. So now it's very fluffy. I don't care for the weight of hair on my neck, especially when I'm exercising, which I do a lot. So it is a benefit to have light, fluffy hair. So I'm okay with embracing it. It does grow a lot of times away from the lock. But what I have found is it kind of gets trained, if you will, or follows a rhythm or a pattern. After a while, they just all start binding together. So I don't think it's something that we really need to sweat, or I have found it's not something that I need to sweat. It's just actually doing its own thing. So fine hair issues. As I've mentioned before, these were very big, puffy, fluffy locks, right? Excuse me, double strand twists. And so now that these have matured, I think it's somebody asked, maybe it's been going on 6.5 years or something. I forget. I don't really keep track that much that I've had my hair locked. And so look at these matured. How much? This would be how somebody could see that my hair is fine. These were big, fluffy double strand twists, which those fluffy styles complemented my hair. But now once they're compact and from washing and squeezing and over time, the hair becomes compact. This is how fine they get. Also, for me wearing lots of beads and shells, the hair gets very, very compact. So I can feel over time, and I've had several trims, and more than likely I'm going to trim it or some of this stuff will break off here. If you have very, very fine, kinky, cottony hair, I find it cannot take a lot of handling. It just does not. I find my hair and skin just like, leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered. It just doesn't. It's my hair, it's painful if I do a lot of pulling. It's tender-headed. So I found, it's interesting. Now when I think and I hear the term protective styling, I can't think of I don't even know if I want to say protective styling. I would call this restful styling. I will call this is rest. This is giving your mind a rest. It's also giving your scalp a rest. It's giving your hairline a rest. It's giving your hair a rest from tension, from pulling, and just also the preoccupation with trying to make the hair do something it doesn't want to do. This is what my hair wants to do. So this is freedom. I don't really have to think about it. I can just wash it and it feels fantastic. It feels excellent. I don't get dandruff. There's no products. My scalp can breathe. Also, I can see what my hair is going to do as it matures. Now I have a little bit of length, so I can see Even if I cut it, I don't feel so preoccupied with length, and I can see exactly what's going to break off from all of those beads, which I love beads. I actually put some in maybe about 2 weeks ago because I know I'm gonna trim it. So issues with fine hair, the hairline. It's actually this is pretty full as a hairline for me. But if I had still been braiding and twisting this, my hairline might be going all the way back like Bozo the Clown, right? So again, this is restful. Like you can see, that would be baby hairs for me when I sweat is very warm where I am or when I exercise. So there have been numerous times where I've been tempted to put um, gel, and then I say no. I just like ease up. Let's see what your hair does. And for me, it's just me. It's it's a meditation and an exploration of my internal dialogue, listening to the subtle, yeah, it's always there, the internal dialogue of um, criticism, of you need to smooth out your edges, or don't you want some baby hair? Do you ever listen to your internal dialogue? And I just have a seat with myself. And so, radical self acceptance, part of what that looks like for me is like, let's let it be kinky. You may get some comments, you may get some looks. The main looks or comments I'm going to get are me from myself because I'm with myself all the time. And I literally listen to, even now, as much as I really appreciate my hair, I can still hear the programming internally of I need to do something or to fix something. But it feels so good when I wash it. It feels so good after I sweat from a workout to have my hair just the sweat can evaporate naturally so it doesn't smell sour and there are no oils trapping dirt or sweat inside of my scalp. So with fine hair, brushing this is like a no bueno. Some people brush their locks. Maybe if I wanted to, I could brush here, but it just doesn't need it because it's always going to come back to the same kinky cottony nap. It's gonna come back. It's just like when I used to put perms in it and put dark and lovely in. After I was like, this is ridiculous for me, just my own personal experience. I'm not anti people doing their artistic expression, right? So, but it's like it keeps coming back to the same thing. So it's like, why are you torturing yourself? And actually, I found this is such a unique DNA marker. Why would I want to sacrifice? There's never been anywhere that I've gone on the planet that I have not gotten and received compliments on my hair, it being unique or it being exotic, but this is just my hair, right? And so, do you ever have a spontaneous smile on your face when you pass the mirror? That's something I'm very, very protective of, right? Because actually, now when I pass the mirror, I smile at my reflection. And so that's my own validation. I get this is not for everybody, even though this is what pops out naturally. And not everybody's going to choose to embrace their natural texture. And that's okay. You're on your own journey. However, I found this little like a little anxiety ridden because I wasn't sure before what it would look like, even though I've had my hair natural for a return to natural for decades. This was a whole nother level. I love my hair really, really, really short, but I decided to go along for the ride, right? To address that anxiety and that internal dialogue to see what would happen. And I've learned so much. For example, there was a time where I was trying to get them to join, right? When I was living more towards like a bush kind of area. Greetings, and I had found it's not much I have access to where I'm at currently. And so, but I did get access to some rubber bands. So sometimes if you're traveling and you got kinky, cottony, Afro textured hair, and you come across some products or some things from back home, you're like, oh my gosh, yes. Even like a hair sleeve or something is like a hot item, a sought after item here. So anyway, I got my hands on some of those, those little black rubber bands, and I'm like, yes, right? So I can kind of get them to join because they're so fine. And I was out in the garden and the sun is really, really hot. I'm in the garden a lot. And don't you know, between that and when I used to put coconut oil in my hair, the rubber bands melted into my hair. The rubber bands melted into my hair. That was like horrible. I don't like the feeling of things being stuck on me or stuck on my hair. That makes me like really anxious. So to get that out was almost like impossible. A lot of it I wound up pulling and damaging my already fine hair. So yet again, chapter 18 or whatever, and stop putting stuff in your hair. But You have to learn sometimes to get clear. So I was trying to put the rubber bands, or I had put the rubber bands down at the root to get them to join together. What I also found was that the rubber bands would leave indentations in my hair. So another issue if you have really, really fine hair, right? When you start to put rubber bands and stuff in it, even when you're joining it, if you try it, if you're in a climate where the rubber bands are not going to melt into your hair, you may want to do it very, very loosely, or you can get those really like a tiny version of these, right? Almost like a rubber band, but not double them, and you can kind of leave it somewhere if you like, without doubling it, so you don't get the indentation. So this is a lot more forgiving on your hair than the rubber bands. Those rubber bands, they melted. When I say melted, gooey, hot chewing gum melted into my hair. That sucked. How are you supposed to get that out? Right? Again, I've done this a million times. I'm losing hair because the hair's like, can I just be free? So the rubber band, especially with the combination of coconut oil melted into it, smell fantastic, the coconut oil, but not the melted rubber. And then I would get on my sun hat. That was just like a no-go. So fine hair issues. It was also the Twinkie syndrome, which I experienced with my hair. When I used to use the oil, it was only coconut oil and olive oil. And it wasn't a lot of it, right? Pretty much all natural. One day I went to wash my hair and it felt really, really waxy. There's a video on this channel called the Twinkie effect or whatever, like how I jacked up, almost damaged my hair. Mine went to touch my hair and it felt waxy like the cream inside of a Twinkie. And I tried to wash it out. That's the first time I did a cider vinegar rinse. So I had to wash it and wash it and wash it. Now it's already fine. It's already delicate. Ain't nothing but 30 locks. I washed it so many times, right? I couldn't get the stuff out. I boiled hot water. I never thought I would be one of those people. I never thought I would be one. I boiled hot water. And then I have never used baking soda on my hair. And I didn't use cider vinegar. So I combined the two of them. Now, guess what? The cider vinegar and the baking soda combo got it out of my hair. It got it out. Yes, it did, with the hot water. But guess what? That damaged my hair. So once again, lesson. This hair can't take it. The cider vinegar and the baking soda, I don't know how people do that all the time. It was too harsh. My hair is just very delicate. It does not like to be handled. So that really stripped my hair. And I'm sure between the beads and that cider vinegar, it felt light and fluffy again. But also it felt stripped once it dried. It was very, very delicate. So that was also my key to using better quality shampoo. I don't need as much shampoo because, first of all, I don't have to clarify like that because I'm not putting the oil in. Hold on, hydration. I don't have to go crazy to try to strip my hair, right? Because sometimes, we go with groupthink and follow fashion, just following it. Maybe it's exciting, this hair journey. We're just trying everything, doing the most. Doing the most would leave me with self-inflicted alopecia. That's what doing the most, that's how that lands over here. Picking pimples, I had tremendous amount of acne. I feel blessed to not have to put anything on my face. Doing the most I had my face was looking like gravel on the sidewalks. It was not cool. Doing the most has never worked for my hair and skin. So I just leave them alone. Every now and then I got a little vegan nail polish I want to play in that, but also I like to see my toenails to make sure that they're healthy. And every now and then I'll play with a little nail polish. But that's it. But for the most part, I really enjoy my own hair and nails and skin. And quite often I'll just do a little buff, right? My hands are in food a lot of times. So a little buffer. And that's it. So it's carefree, easy breezy. JH says, what are you saying, JH? I don't put anything on my locks, period. I oil my scalp once a week with a light oil. My locks have no buildup. My scalp is healthy. Excellent, excellent. So everybody's going to have to find their sweet spot. That's one of the benefits of YouTube. We can peek into each other's kitchens for tips and tricks. I know for me, I try so many things, and I can learn from somebody sometimes somebody that's putting in a weave or something. I might be inspired or something by their styling. And similar to what I do with food, I can look at something totally different and I can translate it into my head. So, for example, I like a lot of vintage clothing and vintage hairstyles. I like my Auntie Joanne's beehive. So for a period, I was really into it. I'm still into sometimes now. I like vintage hairstyles like beehives and bouffants and updos. The only thing is, with a whole bunch of flat locks that are very delicate, I have to be creative with how I want to style it. And it actually, I find it works. The creativity and just accepting that my hair is not going to do what most folks' hairs does. And what'd you say, JH? I do wash with a bat. And I don't know what that means, a bat. You wash with a bat. A natural shampoo every other week. Okay. Do you mean a bar? Is that what you mean? A shampoo bar? So shout out to Candace Simone Dancer. Hey Candace. And Carolyn Shepherd, who always gives a positive vibration over here, and Jacqueline the Visionary. So I can't think of the title, but I do know the shampoo that I do like. The only one that I like from that company is it's like a rose. And one time I used to think that rose were like, for folks like I thought it was a very old smell, but now the quality of the rose makes a big difference. So the I will pay quality for food or for something touching my body. That's something that I value. Other stuff I don't really care that much about. I like fashion, but I spend a lot of money on fashion and all went in the garbage. So I'd rather focus on health and confidence. So my biggest investments: peaceful consumption, my garden, what I'm eating, food that loves me back, my personal movement practice. By the way, you can join me at 5 a.m. for Harriet Squats workout. You don't need anything but just your body weight. You can get bleeding and sweat. 40 minutes, hit it and quit it. And there's also coaching. So there's Flower Fit coaching and community coming together around fruits and vegetables, starting a garden, a personal movement practice, getting some positive accountability and support, and peaceful consumption. The garden, peaceful consumption, and your personal movement practice. Lifestyle practices over here that will serve you and never leave you. When people do those lifestyle practices, they're the biggest investment into the 401k of my body that I make. So just giving you all a shout out and thank you for coming over to the channel. Carolyn, I newly locked and not using anything but aloe water. I'm listening because I have fine, medium density hair. Fine hair. See, this is fine hair issues. And it's interesting. I love Valerie June's hair. I love it. I can appreciate it. That is not what I have. This is what I have. And I'm very intentional around embracing what I have, different scars I have from falling on the ground, running, having being birthing children, breastfeeding. I'm embracing that. I think that's real. I think that is extremely important to a rock solid foundation of esteem, of a healthy esteem. Embracing what you have and maximizing the health, of your body. Our bodies actually know how to achieve a natural healthy weight. If it's not, and because you are with you, right? Not to beat up on yourself, but if it's not, this is just a fingerprint. It's a signature. The body's reflecting how we've been managing or coping or not managing stress, and it's showing a reflection of how it's dealing with the foods or perhaps the substances masquerading as foods that we're using to soothe ourselves, like a cigarette. So I've decided to take a lot off the table because being able to play and relax and roll on the floor, that is a priority. So it is wonderful to be able to go, when I get invited. I just came from some little islands to celebrate a dear friend's birthday, and could jump in the water. In the evening was a beautiful jacuzzi. No problemo. Hair dries like that. I can get wet in the rain. It's pure freedom and relaxation. Don't y'all think we need to be relaxed in our own hair and skin? I want to be relaxed. I really would like to. I intend on enjoying myself in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. I plan on embracing my hair when it goes white. It's less stress. I plan on being, and that is my intention, to be relaxed when the wrinkles come. I don't have a desire to put dangerous substances in my body. It's not to knock anyone. Maybe if I was in a severe accident or something, I'd consider it. But I just feel like my grandma Lou, I came up with my grandma Lou, I talk about it all the time, in her 90s with her own hair and skin. And she was the most pleasant human I have ever encountered. And then both of her mother, my great grandma Jean, relaxed in her skin. That's on my dad's side. On my mom's side, my maternal side, my great grandma Mackie, skin looking like glass from Vaseline. So there's something to it. That's a pattern. There's a pattern. And Grandma Lou was big on eat your own food. Your own food. Make your own food. That is a lifestyle. It's also a paradigm shift. So radical self-acceptance it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. So I have some things planned, but I've been so busy. I'm always taking a class. This one I have to travel to a whole nother town. Then there's the 5 a.m. workout, usually from 6 to 11. I'm inside the garden. Y'all welcome to come into the garden with me. See, I'm all about going into the cocoon and bloom. When you look at what happened to all those girls? What happened to all those chocolate girls? Gone missing because we're somewhere in the garden playing and having fun. If I come over to your house right now, my double dutch roll, the roller skates, I'm sharing a live strawberry apple pie with you. It's so much stuff you wouldn't even be thinking of. And so sometimes I feel like we're missing out. We are really, really missing out. Do you show up for the things? Are you getting into action around the things that you say that you value? Are they showing up on your calendar as standing committed appointments, and are they showing up in your checkbook? Whatever's showing up in your checkbook or your statement and your calendar, how you spend your time, that's what you value. Doesn't make us bad people. That's what you value. Your religion is not what you say. It's what you're doing on a consistent basis. But hey, what I know. So that's what I'm doing over here. I'm prioritizing play and rest and relaxation. And as someone that's been in the health and fitness and personal training field for a couple of decades, there are some distinct patterns that I have seen. Most people, the majority of people, do not maintain and sustain for themselves what they consider a healthy, natural weight. And because a lot of it is up here first. And I used to be a junk food junkie, so I don't make no butter beans about that. And I also come from a family pattern and history of morbid obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, and all the other diseases and comorbidities that run in packs. And I like to eat. So I don't play with that stuff. If I didn't really enjoy my food, there's no way on this green earth that I would be able to sustain the way that I'm eating. That's just is what it is. So right now I feel very confident. You can put me anywhere on the planet for $5 and I'm going to eat well. Whole, fresh, living, and unprocessed. And that's something that's taken me years to figure out. It doesn't have to take you years to figure it out. So check out Whole Living Foods in the Hood, because I put all the questions that my younger me would ask. I put all those shortcuts in there, especially if you're a young person handling your own money, or if you're a single person, or if you have a budget or spending plan with children and you're a mom, right? A lot of times we're just eating the leftovers in our children's lunch boxes, or we have a lot of cognitive dissonance. That's a really dominant theme right now, is cognitive dissonance. So like, I don't know why my skin is breaking out. I don't know why I can't lose weight. And it's like we burned the body out. We're burned out the adrenal glands. The liver is taxed just mercilessly. The liver is taxed. We're not getting sleep. Then add to that, when you turn on these screens, you're constantly being bombarded with all kinds of images that your nervous system can't tell the difference between this stuff coming at you visually and psychologically and something really happening. So that's setting off a lot of cortisol in the body. So it's a lot of powerful hormones. It's not just the food and calories. That is important. That is important. If you're eating too much fuel, if your car can only take 20 gallons of gas, that's not 21, that's not 22. The quality, if you're eating 20 gallons of energy or calories with their poor calories or poor energy, poor quality, then your body's struggling to perform in spite of, right? And then there are these powerful chemicals that can cause you to store a lot of what you're ingesting, often recreational eating and things, substances that are highly flavored and devoid of water, masquerading as food. We're putting that in and we're expecting youthful skin. That's cognitive dissonance. It doesn't make us bad people. There's a disconnect. There's a lack of accountability. There's a lack of transparency with ourselves. And we're moving at such a pace. That it's almost like we're like zombies on automatic pilot. I know they may sound away, but y'all let me know what you think. So even freedom hair for me is a mindset. I want to relax. And I've experienced deep relaxation, almost deeper than sleep, in my flexibility practice, and my stretching practice, my movement practice, deeply therapeutic. In the garden, deeply therapeutic. And with peaceful consumption, the type of food I'm eating, deeply hydrating, deeply therapeutic. So this is a lifestyle, right? So these fine hair issues, hair that grows away from the lock, is that really an issue? Again, after a while, I find the hair is just trained. It's going to go where it goes. Initially, I have to push it down like that and done. And I don't need to do that so much. If your hair is very fine, it is likely you'll have to check in periodically to see that it has a strong base. These were not a strong base, but they started out fluffy, and this was like some years old. But likely they may need to combine so they have a strong base. Flat locks, not really an issue for me. Some people aesthetically. However, because the hair is so fine, when I lay on it, especially if it's damp, it's going to get flat. So I'm just not with fighting stuff over here. Fighting is struggling, is mentally debilitating, and is mentally exhausting. I'm not doing all of that. Y'all can have that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So as I say, is it an issue? Is it a challenge? Is it a problem? So I've embraced it. Someone was asking me, a couple of people ask me if I dye my hair. No, I don't dye it. It's just the sun. I would say also not having chemicals in my hair and it being light, as well as going into the sun periodically with the garden. You're just seeing the natural color of my hair. It's almost like a brown with a little bit of sandy brown on it. And if I was following all of the infomercials and the messages being marketed at me, then I would likely dye my hair. But I'm not going to do that because it has been consistent. Everyone I know that has had locks and dyed their hair all eventually wound up cutting their hair. Now, if my hair was hanging on by one little lock and I'm looking like Bozo the Clown, Hare Krishna meets Bozo the Clown, then this sucker's coming off. I'm just going to be straight up with you. I would cut it off because I don't mind. I think I like the way I look with short hair. But actually, this is, I'm not cutting it. So I'm going along for the ride to see what it will do. The more I let it rest, the more I let it rest, the better. I just simply decided, do I want the part here? Or do I want it on the side? So I chose to have it here. And actually, now that it's got a little bit of length, now I've been playing around with, right, is putting it over on the side. So it's not a part, but I can fake it almost like it's a part. So there are things that are creative that we can do if we have fine hair. This is a great option for women that may be looking down the line and saying, you're in your quiet moments. We can't see each other. However, you may be like, if you listen to your intuition, you might be like, if I don't stop twisting my hair, I'm likely not going to have a hairline, right? Let me just talk about me. My hairline will be gone already. This would be no bueno. It's very, very delicate over here. It can't take not one licking over here. It doesn't fully grow back because my brains were almost pulled out by two tight braids. They were so tight when I came home, I just took the scissors and cut it all off. So I'd likely have traction alopecia and just alopecia. I would have some serious traction alopecia if I kept trying to style it. And even wearing the same style over and over, right? If I saw those really pretty slick buns, right? I'm trying to get the slick bun. Okay, looks cute. But this is not what that is. So I just play with what I have. I can just take it and go like this. Boop, boop, boop. And one of the things I love with this hair, now this is a benefit of this hair. I can take one of these little holders, and I have a lot of really delicate hair tools. Y'all let me know if y'all want to see my favorite delicate hair tools, because no bueno. Tension is a no-go. We're not doing the tension thing over here. Too much rubber band is a no-go over here. So this hair, it can't take it, right? I don't often get to see it from the back, so I don't know what it looks like, But again, I would not have any hair. So being that I wear my hair a lot in two ponytails to keep it off my neck when I'm exercising, this I have to be careful of sometimes just to leave this alone because you will train your hair, right? And again, it's not a lot of locks, but it feels nice and spongy and clean down at the root. So I just let them combine. So these are all flat. So I can play this back so I can finally see what my hair looks like in the back. But whatever it is, it's clean and it's mine and it's radical self-acceptance day over here every day. That's what we're celebrating. I did get scissor happy. So what side is it? This one, I think, was the shortest one. Now this has got a bit of length on it. So if you go back to the Afro Flower hair challenge on this channel, you can see one of the last one. Well, I've cut it a couple of times, trimmed it since then, but this was the shortest one that I uh, got very scissor happy, and I just kept cutting, so I had to stop myself right there. So this is how I'm marking my hair with the Afro Flower hair challenge. So let's see if we can get to a year. Maybe some of y'all want to join me to maybe see what your hair would do, right? Can you still be creative and come up with styles that don't compromise your hairline, that you're not wearing it's too tight, and where you're just embracing your texture and what your hair what it wants to do. Ask your hair what it wants to do. And are you getting scared if you see like a little beady bead or something on it? Do you get scared that it doesn't? See, this is why I challenge the internal dialogue when it's not doing what everybody else's hair is doing, right? Do you listen to your hair and your body, the communications that your body is having with you, because it's telling you stuff all the time. So some other fine hair issues is the hair going flat. Again, I've embraced that. When you lay down, pick your Afro daddy because it's flat on one side. If it goes flat, oh well, all of them are going flat anyway. Bring it on. What's next? Well, we've eliminated the greasy neckline and pillow because we're not putting any oil. It also saves a lot of money that goes into my garden. So what else? Other hair issues. Y'all let me know what kind of hair issues you have, because I feel like for the most part, I've eliminated them. If anything, now when my hair gets wet from exercise, I always wanted to do this, and I got a little something, so I can just pull. I always wanted to be able to wear my hair like this, boom, and so now I can do that, right? To like just a what do you call it? A messy bun. Always want. So now I got enough here for a little messy bun, and I don't need to slick the edges, and I don't have all of that oil running down into my face in hot climates, a dusty garden, and while I'm exercising. So those are the benefits. Other issues, breaking off. Periodically, I'm not really trying long time. I've experimented with holding on to stuff, the fine hair, where I had lots of beads and stuff. I can see a real big weak spot right here. And so I could just pull this off, but I'll let it fall off, or I'm just going to trim it, right? So I've decided to just let it go. So I don't really care about the length. Again, my hair is going to go and expand this way, wide and fluffy, rather than round and manicured. So it's manicured by nature. Is it freeform? It's kind of doing what it do, but periodically I will separate it. Right now, I'm just watching. I'm just observing what it's doing, so I can see that they're attached or whatever, a little bit. But for the most part, they're growing, and everybody's growing in their own little corner. So I would no muss, no fuss. So one of the challenges might be for some folks are concerned, also for my fitness folks, those folks that are endeavoring on a healthy lifestyle, is protein. Protein. Somebody was asking me the other day, what do I do for protein? Now, let me tell y'all something. I come from a family pattern history of good cooks, very flavorful cooks, and a Caribbean and a Southern style pig feet. Now, I don't eat that anymore, but I used to, right? And I would say I'm not really concerned about protein because I get down for the crown. I enjoy eating. However, I would say one of the benefits of whole living foods, there's enough education and space between me and mindless eating. Not to say that will never happen, maybe with some avocados or some mangoes. But it's amazing to me. It is amazing to me that I don't eat junk food anymore, because it was really bad. It was not good. It was not good. And so obesity, heart disease is pretty much waiting for me. So I eat a lot of variety. I eat a lot of sprouts. My sprout right now that I'm working on are green pea sprouts. So these are not the peas out the freezer. These are actually being sprouted. So this is just one example of several things that I do for protein. And other than water, I always have different types of water filters. Most of my water comes from my food. So I'm eating water. This is literally my lifestyle. This is not once a week. This is not for a cleanse. And that took years to cultivate. I don't think it needs to take most people that long anymore, because the information is there. I think many of us can't wrap our minds around detaching the idea of leaving our babies, which has become many of our boyfriend and girlfriend. I can dig it. I'm a realist. I am a realist. So the food, without making ourselves bad or wrong, is what we're using to make ourselves feel better and to get a dopamine hit, right? So living foods, it's very, very different even in eating a lot of the gourmet raw vegan cookies and pies, and I know how to do all of that stuff. However, with so much water and fiber and so much quality nutrition, you actually start to experience satiation in a way you never have before. Your elimination kicks in without laxatives in a way it never did before. Your hydration, and also starting to become more mentally alert, right? From eating loads of greens. So I don't need to take loads of green powder because literally, I can make a meal in 5 minutes. I can go right outside my door and pick greens, which again is a blessing. Very simply right out of my yard. So that's I find whole fresh living and unprocessed foods it's another shift. And I think there's even another shift to get to where we're not so fixated on food. And that's why relaxation is at the foundation of all of these practices: peaceful consumption, garden therapy, and a personal movement practice. A big, where it will take a lot of us to, it can catapult us into another experience, not just rhetoric, not just intellectualizing. It can catapult you into another type of rest, mental rest, and relaxation, which solves so many problems. So I just wanted to come on today and just chat with you about fine hair. Let me know, do you have fine hair? I know I have some folks from other human packages on this channel. You can chime in if you like. Some folks have children that have mixed heritages and mixed features and stuff. So let me know, chime in. How do you practice radical self-acceptance? What kind of issues have you experienced with fine hair? I know for Afro textured hair, oil does not just run down our hair, so it will become as greasy, right? If you have finer texture in your hair, if you're the vanilla phenotype, then oil may be running down your hair, or it may look, quote unquote, as a person, people say it looks greasy. So that's not a concern for me. I will say this though, I can feel sebum now on my hair very, very distinctly from massaging a lot. So that is a very distinct feeling. So I think it goes to right around where all of this is afro-y and springy. I can feel it to just about here before it goes into the lot. I can feel sebum. So all the avocado, the flax seeds, the sesame seeds, and the naturally occurring fats in the fruits and vegetables, due to moving a lot and my movement practice, I'm circulating all that nutrition up to my scalp. So I can feel that light coating on my scalp. So y'all let me know, what kinds of issues are you experiencing with your fine hair, if you have fine hair, on your journey of radical self-acceptance. So hope you all have a good, deep rest this evening, a restful, peaceful sleep, right? Perhaps be mindful of what you're watching before you dip off into sleep, so you don't allow your imagination to be hijacked. And if you're interested in joining in on Harriet Squats, right? After Harriet T, we're implementing her grit and resilience. You don't need a whole bunch of equipment. You just need a mat, some water, and a towel, and your own body weight. We do a lot of coaching, which is very supportive for people looking to change their lifestyle. So there's a coaching component. There's corrective exercise. So if folks have issues with their knees, their back, their shoulders, you find a way that you can open up those areas, the fascia, increase your mobility and flexibility, so you can start to strengthen yourself. So perhaps you can be more prepared to do a bit more vigorous exercise, and it's not a whole lot of jumping. So you can find the link, and if you receive a link, it expires after a time, so it doesn't sit there forever. So you can reach out to me at info@body-culinary.com, or go on over to Holistic Fit with WHO on Facebook, and you can find the application there. You can find Body-Culinary on the Discord server. You'll need the Discord app. I must have an email and a waiver attached to a person to identify the person. If I cannot identify people, I do not respond. And that has just been demonstrated to me over and over. It is too much random energy coming at young people and women and girls on the internet. And safety is my priority. So yeah, just yesterday, some knucklehead sent something. I hadn't experienced that in a while, so it's unfortunate. Men folk will have to go check that. That's not on me. So don't feel no way if I don't respond to you. I do not respond to folks in my DMs. I just don't. Maybe other people do, but that does not feel comfortable to me to have so much random energy. That's another story. But anyway, intending to have a deep rest. If you fill out the application in time enough, you can join us Monday through Thursday as a regular class. And then Fridays is sliding scale, or you can give a donation. No one is turned away on Fridays as a community class. So come bringing some good energy. Um, yeah, come put forth your best. Come and sweat and feel athletic. Don't feel no kind of way. Come and love and celebrate the body temple that you have, that is still alive. You can still move and it can still transform. So Fridays, that's a community class. And then there are classes Monday through Thursday at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 4:30 in the morning is usually deep breathing, relaxation, and contemplation, focusing on your goals, and contemplating what is there missing, what's missing, and what is there anything that you're not addressing. So that's what we do at 4:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. So if you're not seeing me, it's because we're up early. I'm up early. I don't know where you are. My grandma Lou got up early and I'm an early bird. That is the most peaceful time of the day I have found. That is the power hour, usually around 4 o'clock in the morning. So y'all have a good rest. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you soon. I would love to hear how your freedom journey is going with your hair and your skin. It's a blessing. If you can, it's a blessing to me not have to wear a ton of makeup, right? It's an option, but I don't have to do that. I feel free. Have a good rest, y'all. See you soon.